let's be honest, electoral politics is a two-horse race, and there's no chance of smashing the two-party system. Now, I'm increasingly convinced that the dissident right have nothing of use to contribute towards electoral politics. And I stress electoral because I do think there's some value in the kind of culture creation, culture nudging stuff that like Borgoth and Millennial Woes do. I think there's some merit to that, in the idea that politics is trickle downstream from culture. But when the dissident right actively try to get involved in electoral politics and meddle, I think it's harmful. It could even be a disaster. And of course, I'm having a pop at Carl Benjamin here, but he's an easy target. And what I'm actually more concerned about are the people with inflated egos and inflated influence and waistlines who are currently attempting to meddle in the upcoming general election by trying to create a movement of Conservative voters to withhold their votes under the guise that the Conservative Party do not deserve them because they betrayed you, and so bringing about their electoral defeat will somehow in the long run benefit you, either by the Conservative Party being remodelled in the vision of your nationalist superhero, whichever that may be, take your pick, or that it will smash wide open the two-party system, allowing for a third alternative based party to emerge. Now, that's the thing that I want to smash open today. But let's just be clear before I do that this is the politics of accelerationism, aka exactly what your ideological enemies are campaigning for, just repackaged to you as if it's in your own interest. Yeah? Your ideological enemies are all campaigning for this exact same outcome. Somehow it's just been sold to you that it's in your best interest. Okay.
It's the failure of the Conservative Party to wield power for friends and against enemies while in office, which is why a lot of people are saying they deserve 0 seats in the upcoming election, because
So I've said I think this is trash analysis because, look, it is a two-party system. Like it or lump it, you don't get to choose for Enoch. You don't get to vote for Enoch Powell in this election. You get to vote for the Conservative Party under Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer. And this idea that you can defeat the Conservative Party and smash wide open the two-party system is ridiculous. It's been tried before. And it's been tried before when all the pieces, all the stars were aligning for it to ever succeed, if it's possible at all, under the leadership of a charismatic leader, which would be absolutely essential, after a decade and a half of a building popular movement that all started kind of way back in around the year 2000, 2001, with William Hague. I know there was early Euroscepticism in this, but this is like the seeds of proto-Brexit right here. In Europe, not run by Europe. And then it was built upon in subsequent incarnations of the Conservative Party, with further Euroscepticism under Michael Howard. And this all grew and grew over the following decade and a half, with like the Black Swan event of the refugee crisis in Europe, and all the momentum that was building with the charismatic leader, all culminated then in attempting to smash the two-party system in the 2015 general election. You remember this? Well, I'm taking you back here, aren't I? So how did it go then? How did it go? Well, UKIP got 12.6% of the popular vote, which is, believe it or not, just less than half of what the Labour Party got. But the Labour Party got 232 seats, and UKIP only got 1. So figure it out for yourself. It's just not possible for a third party, even after a decade and a half of popular momentum, populist uprising, Black Swan event, and a charismatic leader to come in and break the two-party hold on the system. Because these parties are entrenched in their constituencies around the country in first past the post, winner takes all scenarios. So you just can't do it. It's just not possible. Never mind the fact that we don't even have a third party or a charismatic leader. We just have shit like this. So bear in mind when people are telling you that we can deal the Conservative Party a massive electoral defeat and you'll get a better outcome, what is the actual future scenario? Have they talked about this future scenario and how it would play out? What is the next decade and a half, if it's going to smash the two-party system, going to look like? And will it just amount to one seat for a third party? Can you imagine in 10 or 15 years' time an attempt to smash the two-party system that was bolder and had more of a populist momentum behind it than the UKIP campaign in 2015? Or are you just being condemned to a decade and a half of the Labour Party, just like all the Labour activists are campaigning for too? Now, it's worth bearing in mind that even the most charismatic leader on earth with a literal tower made of gold and a 757 with his name on it, even he knows that he has to attach himself to one of the two political parties in order to challenge the system. He can't do it from outside of that power structure. So when it comes to just the UK electoral politics of the general election, your choice isn't between getting Enoch Powell or your nationalist superhero or the Labour Party. Your choice is a pragmatic one between this brand, whatever you might think of it, of populist leaning attempts to do some of the things that you want in a light, colourblind fashion. This kind of populist brand of conservatism, nationalist light, whatever you want to call it, or Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, and probably like 10 years rule and a decade and a half of the Labour Party in the future, where this brand of conservatism is blamed for the outcome. In my opinion, it's undoubtedly going to be the case that this brand of conservatism, this attempt to embrace the populist right wing of the conservatism with cookie nationalist light policies, will be blamed, and the Conservative Party remoulding towards the centre. That's your choice of this election. You don't have the choice that you want. So which one you're going to pick, I don't know. What I do know is what some people are definitely working towards, and they explicitly tell you it. You can't ever come back in a few years' time and say, you were a wolf in sheep's clothing. No. They made it absolutely clear to you exactly what they were working for, who they were working for, even if they didn't know it. And even used to tell you every single week who their political idol was. It was absolutely in your face the entire time. Anyway, I'll just leave you with this reminder.
If you vote UKIP, that is really a vote for Labour. And here's a thought. Here is a thought for you. on the 7th of May, you could go to bed with Nigel Farage and wake up with Ed Miliband. I don't know about you, but not one bit of that works for me.
So look, just to sum up before I go then, I believe the politics, electoral politics specifically, is a politics of incrementalism. And you might not like what is on offer on the table at the moment, but this election is going to be seen either as an endorsement of a very slight incremental move towards these types of populist policies, or a rejection of them and an embrace of the left. And that the people selling you this future are selling you down the river. Okay, that's been it. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate all of you.